Welcome to the Fairways of Life show.
It takes a lot of work to get to this point in my career.
Gents, here's where I want to go now.
If I can practice, I know I can still do it.
Great players are ones who rise to the occasion.
And go again.
With the most candid interviews.
Well, I'll tell you a little story.
Ice cream is the motivator.
But an ice cream is so good.
Stunning.
Taking you beyond the ropes.
Maddie, let me just bring you over here.
So there's the Ryder Cup Masters Trophy.
Here's your host, New York Times bestselling author, Matt Adams.
All right, big announcement today, this week. Luke Donald has been named the 2027 European Ryder Cup captain. He'll lead Team Europe at Adair Manor in Ireland for the 100th anniversary of the Ryder Cup. The Englishman aiming to make history as the first captain to win 3 consecutive Ryder Cups. The 48-year-old previously led Europe to victory in Rome and then again in New York. As we welcome you into the PXG Custom Studios, log on to pxg.com. You've never played golf like this before. What a show we have for you. Maybe we've never had a show like this for you before. We have 3 tour players joining us today, including a major champion. We have a major announcement coming up in the show today. And when it's all said and done, we're going to honor Mr. Arnold Palmer, because this week, of course, is the Arnold Palmer Invitational presented by MasterCard. And as we do every year, we're going to go back to an exclusive interview we conducted with Mr. Palmer that we believe was the last full-length sit-down interview that was ever conducted with Mr. Palmer. It was unscripted. He was not aware of what questions we were going to ask. And I think the insight in the history, it's really moving. It's honestly almost emotional watching this interview, but so psyched to start the show today. Andrew Novak, a winner on the PGA Tour, a winner on the Corn Ferry Tour. He's currently 42nd in world rankings. He's only 30 years old. 118 PGA Tour starts to date, 14 career top 10s. He'll be playing his first Masters this year. He has it tied for 7th at the Farmers Insurance already. His wife, Maddie, and have a daughter, Delaney, who goes by Laney, and he has a dad as well. I think she's about 6 months old, but I'm going to ask him about that in just a second. Pumped to welcome Andrew back to the Fairways of Life show. Andrew, what's going on, my man? How you doing?
Yeah, hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me on.
Pleasure to have you on. So is Laney 6 months now?
4, but yeah, getting close.
How much did that change Daddy's life?
Definitely a lot. I mean, the golf part's about the same, and then everything else is about as different as it could be.
Are you used to even less sleep now?
We've been very blessed. We have a good sleeper, so we've been very lucky.
That's awesome. How does it change? You know, I love asking young dads about this, their tour players, because you had the likes of the Billy Casper, where I asked him, how did he deal with all the stress? A guy who won 51 times PGA Tour, 3 majors. And he was like, Matty, I had to do it because I had 11 mouths to feed. What is it like for you now? Or is it a getaway where you look at it and go, Laney doesn't care what I shot today?
Yeah, I think, you know, I did a lot of golf before I had a baby, and golf is still golf. Like, I'm going out and trying to win and compete. And then when I'm off the golf course, you know, I get to go pick her up and play with her and be a dad. So I think it's just kind of 2 separate things. I think I maybe treat it a little bit as that. Like, I think I've always treated golf a little bit as a job. Like, I want to take it serious, put the work in, you know, put the time in, and then when I'm off the course, I kind of put the golf away and go try and, you know, separate from it a little bit. And I think she has definitely helped with that.
Dude, are you in the locker room at Bay Hill as we're speaking?
In the locker room. I didn't know where the better thing was. You know, for 10 minutes, nobody walked by before the interview started. And now we've got everybody going through. So
yeah, I'm a little worried about how much we're going to know about your fellow tour players in a second.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll be fine.
Yeah. All right.
Hopefully it doesn't pick up anything too crazy.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. All right, last time you were on with us, I know this was way back at the Travelers. You had just injured your rib, if I remember correctly. I think at the Memorial in the deep rough.
Yeah.
You know what? You told us about it. We told the world about it. But for the rest of the year, I almost didn't hear anybody talk about it. They're all like, well, Andrew's kind of off his form they had earlier in the year. And I was always like, wait a minute. He's dealing with an injury. How did that go? How did the healing go? Are you completely over it right now? Because some of your finishes would suggest as much.
Yeah. I would say it didn't affect me much towards the end of the year. I just didn't play very well. I would have said after Travelers, I had a couple week break and I came into Scottish, and I would say by Scottish, I was feeling good.
Oh,
So,
okay.
you know, some of my struggles at the end of the year, that was just me not playing well. That wasn't injury related. That wasn't anything like that. Maybe the only thing I could argue or point to, I think I lost a little bit of speed towards the end of the year. But I wasn't feeling pain or anything. I don't think it limited my ability to play well in tournaments. I just didn't do that.
Yeah, I'm looking at.
And currently I'm feeling 100%. So
That's the most important part.
Not an issue. Yeah.
When I was looking at what you did at the end of 2025, you know, that tied for 6th at the FedEx St. Jude, the tied for 7th at the RSM Classic, it was like, hey, we're getting back to the Andrew Novak that we used to know. Here you are telling us that you're back to 100% again. So yeah, let's do the State of the Union of Andrew Novak. How are you feeling mentally, emotionally, physically? Where do you think you're at?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a bit of a weird start to the year. I don't think I've had a particularly great start to the season. But I've done things well at various points. Like I've had tournaments where I putted well. I've had tournaments where I've hit it well. I just haven't really put it all together in one tournament yet. So I don't think it's necessarily far away. I think I'm kind of due because I do think like my good has been pretty good. I just need to put it all together.
Yeah, I mean, you've had top 10s in 3 of your last 10 starts. So what would you say right now you like how it's working or how it's trending, and what would you say there are things that I have to work on?
Yeah, I think one of the big things is I'm happy to be back on the East Coast, play a little bit of Bermuda golf. I think that's comfortable for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest thing, you know, I need to drive it a little bit better. I've been hitting it kind of short and crooked. That's not a good combo. So if I can drive it a little bit better and get a week where the putts are going in, I'm usually going to do pretty well.
And from the standpoint of your driving distance and accuracy, where do you want to be? What's the feel? What are you working on that you know from years of playing golf that you need to get back to?
Yeah, so I spent a lot of this offseason. I actually had like a proper offseason this year. I spent a lot of this offseason trying to gain speed and somehow came out of it hitting it shorter than when I went into it. So it's been a part that's been frustrating me, but then randomly in the last like 2-3 weeks, I feel like I've started picking speed back up again. So I think I'm getting back closer to where I want to be speed wise. We'll see if it's straight. I don't know, but at least it's not short and crooked. Maybe it'll be average length and crooked at worst. So, you know, if I can start locating it around here and getting some decent distance on it, I think that this is a pretty good course to put together a good driving week.
Yeah, it's a tough golf course. The overseed is always thick and dense, the raised greens. It's got some meat to the golf course. Your last start there, if I remember correctly, was a tie for 34th. What is it about Bay Hill when you look at that golf course that you think might just fit the Andrew Novak of the 2026 edition?
Yeah, it's just a really tough golf course. I think it promotes, you know, guys that are willing to go out there and scrap out some pars, and I like that. I didn't have a great finish last year, but I had a really good first 3 rounds. I played awful on Sunday, but I was up there going into Sunday, so I still feel pretty good about playing this place. I think it fits my game decently. I do like courses kind of where par is a premium, so it looks like the weather hopefully should be pretty decent this week. We should see a pretty firm and fast golf course, and yeah, it's not going to be a ton of low scores, I wouldn't think.
It's probably too early to ask you this question, but you know that we're fans of yours. You heard the announcement when we were coming on the air today that Luke Donald is once again going to captain the European Ryder Cup side. You came so close. What was that emotions like for you at the end of 2025 going into that Ryder Cup, being that close to the mark, and how much does it feed the hunger in you for 27 in Ireland?
Yeah, I had a chance at the end there and just didn't play well those last few events of the season, the last couple events of the season. But, you know, losing a home Ryder Cup is not good. I think it's going to be really important to go over to Ireland and try and steal that back, because it is really hard to win on the road in the Ryder Cup. And to make it back up, we're going to have to go steal one from them at some point. So what better time than to do it over in Ireland? And I know those fans are going to be rowdy. I would guess, as far as Europe goes, Ireland's probably as close to New York fans as we're going to see from them. So yeah, I'm definitely motivated to try and be a part of that and go steal that one back.
Absolutely. In terms of passion, I think you're going to see a lot of passion on that side of the pond as well. As you know, we always like to ask you about your sponsors. It's our way of saying thank you for taking a few moments of your time with us. You want to share with us who you've aligned yourself with?
Yeah, I've got Cleveland Strixon, Adidas, Dreamfinders Homes, and Fury Athletics. So support them, wear the stuff, buy you a new home.
That's awesome, brother. You're feeling good. The game seems to be coming around. You're finding elements of what was for Andrew Novak, which was really, really strong with what you've done over the last couple of seasons. Given all that, how excited are you about this week and moving forward?
Yeah, definitely. We're getting to a part of the season where it's just every week, you know, a lot of big tournaments coming up, kind of starting with this Florida swing here. You know, we got the Players next week too, and then we start rolling into major season. So definitely a good time of the year to start playing some good golf, and I'm excited to get going.
Andrew, you're awesome, man. We wish you the very, very best, you know, continued success as you head down the road, especially given the time frame that you just laid out for us, because we're right on the doorstep. Thanks for your time today.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
All right, folks, we'll be back with more of the Fairways of Life show right after this. NewtonGolfCo.com is where you can log on and you can check out Newton's new fast motion shafts. Yes, they are lighter and they are faster. How that translates to you is better performance. Everybody that gives these a try are hitting it longer. Yes, I'm talking about the best players in the world. Yes, I'm talking about long drive champions, but I'm also talking about everyday golfers. They have what you need from Newton Golf Shafts. And with Newton Golf Shafts' proprietary Symmetry 360 design, it virtually eliminates any spine and ensures consistently from shot to shot. Effortless improvement can be in your hands. NewtonGolfCo.com so that you can start playing better golf today. When we come back, another tour player waiting in the wings. Welcome back to the Fairways of Life show from wherever you are joining us around the globe. Austin Smotherman has won multiple times at golf's highest tiers, 3 times, in fact, on the Corn Ferry Tour, two of which came last year in the same month of June. He's now at his highest ranking ever. He's inside of the top 100 at 99th in the official World Golf Rankings. He's 22nd in FedEx Cup points. It's had a great start to 2026. In fact, tied for 8th at the Amex, just finished runner-up at the Cognizant, his first runner-up finish on the PGA Tour. Early in the season. But he's 12th on tour in proximity and 3rd in strokes gained approach. He's had 82 starts on the PGA Tour, 5 PGA Tour top 10s to his credit, 102 starts in the Corn Ferry Tour, and 16 top 10s there. He is but 31 years old. He is a dad. We'll get into that as well. Pleasure to welcome Austin to the show. Austin, what's going on, my man? Are you parked someplace right now?
I just left the range, had a little session with my coach, Cameron McCormick, and tried to find a quiet spot over there, just enough pro-am noise, hustle, and bustle. So I came out and in the car for a little bit to talk to you.
Where do you allow the noise to stop, Austin, so that whether you're getting together with Cameron or whatever you're working on to go, I don't know, this isn't about something new. This is about doing what we're doing right.
Yeah, I think that's just the fact that I got good people around me, caddy coaches, family, friends, everybody that kind of keeps me on track if maybe I start hearing too much of that noise. And this morning we just focused on some wedges, went through the bag pretty quick, hit some different driver feels just to combat some of the crosswinds out here, which I heard you talking about with Novak. You know, definitely a premium on driving this week.
Oh yeah, the golf course. It's funny because I wonder if people realize how meaty Bay Hill is for you guys and how much, clearly it's deliberate, that they'll set up this golf course that has kind of a major feel to it in terms of if you're wayward off the tee, the density of the rough, the questions that the course asks of you.
Yeah, no doubt. Just the inability to necessarily hit the ball from the rough up near the green. I mean, grinding wedges, having to get up and down from, those 40 to 80 yard spots where you just chase it up there as far as you can and hit a good pitch and hopefully make a little 5-footer or something. And, stay patient out here is definitely going to be key.
When you talk about staying patient, I'd like to just kind of expand the net on in the use of that phrase, because you've been coming on with me for years. We've had the pleasure of watching the evolution of your career and, frankly, the evolution of you as a man, getting married and becoming a dad and all the rest that goes into it.
Yeah.
How have you been able to remain so stoic, seemingly, and so patient, definitely, in terms of the flow and ebbs of professional golf to get to where you are right now on the threshold?
How do I do that? I think I was kind of not forced into it, but I learned a lot about that in my Latin America, playing PGA Tour Latin America, now the Americas Tour. Second year as a pro, traveling internationally like that. Let alone, you got to be pretty patient on a 10.5 hour flight from Dallas to Buenos Aires. So just the nature of playing down there, different environments, different language, different cultures, just there's no reason to rush it. The language barrier, I spoke a little bit of Spanish, so I kind of had this incorporation of using my local caddies to my benefit, where I could, say something pretty basic, and I just, kind of dumbed down the golf shots, and that's how I played golf down there. And I feel like that bred into my identity as a Korn Ferry player. And there's definitely times and stretches where we're not patient, and it either shows in scores or how I feel, on and off the golf course. And so I think I feel better when I'm a little patient out there.
Do you still get carded?
Oh yeah. I get it all the time. That's why I saved this a little bit, which I do need to shave right now. So
how about
I gotta take a new headshot today, so I do have my razor in my duffel.
Oh, are you going to shave for the headshot?
I'm gonna trim it. It's not gonna be clean cut, but
what kind of trim? Are you gonna do like a pirate look, or?
Oh no, I'll just go all around, little 3mm, trim it up.
Very nice.
I just got a little guard on my thing. Yeah, I can't go clean shaven anymore. My wife won't let me.
I understand. When you became a dad, when you and your wife brought these lives into this world, how did it change you as a player?
Yeah, I mean, beautiful photo right here. That's at our house celebrating a little first birthday party for our Nelly Belly, and just how enjoyable it is at home. I mean, these girls love me so much, and I've done, essentially nothing but bring them into the world. And I mean, it's just getting to enjoy life with them, and yeah, I mean, seeing their smiling faces every day makes it pretty worthwhile.
Is it amazing to you that these two little lives, and Jessica too, in fairness, but these lives can teach you so much about what you do? Do you understand what I mean by that?
Oh, the childlike joy they have for just the little things. I mean, go and find some leaves and throw them up in the air. I mean, that's what I'm doing out there, throwing grass. They think that's the coolest thing in the world. I mean, all we're doing is just playing golf. I mean, definitely trying to just go find it, hit it again, keep smiling. I mean, have fun along the way. My caddy and I feel like we've kind of last year developed this little bit of this happy bubble we kind of just want to float around the golf course in. And the more we can stay in that, and we know better and better kind of each week, what might take us out of that, or when he knows I may be out of it, or almost maybe vice versa, although he's pretty stoic too. He doesn't really get going too much. And he's a savvy vet. Zach Williamson, my caddy's now on the bag almost 2 years.
That happy bubble that you're talking about, and mentioning that what can take you out of it. What can take you out of your happy bubble?
Overanalyzing a golf shot, talking too much down the fairway about a poor golf shot, some body language things, whether I'm overreacting on the greens, which just all things are showing him. It's kind of just some built up frustration where my expectations are not being met. I feel like I should be playing better than I am, losing golf shots here or there, and knowing that those reactions, being out of the bubble, is not going to help us on the next spot. There's no reason to continue to toil over a missed green or a missed shape, or even if you hit one in the hazard. I mean, all we can do is go find the next shot, hit it best we can, and go do it again. So,
Austin, what do you
yeah.
fear?
What do I fear? I don't know. That's a good question. I should probably would have a better answer if I had a long period of time to think about that beforehand. But um, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. What do you fear, Matt?
That's a good question. I just think when you guys
Well,
are out there
let's
doing what you do as a
there's
competitive
there's maybe
athlete,
a little bit of that fear of failure occasionally.
yeah,
I
that's what I'm
guess.
wondering. If it's that kind of stuff, it's like, when you're out there, whether you look at it from a round, whether you look at it from a shot, whether you look at it from your life's perspective, do you, to phrase it another way, do
Yeah,
you feel like you're running towards something, or do you feel like you're running away from something?
definitely feel like I'm more and more learning what I'm running towards. Which is for me, um, running towards my faith. My relationship with God, the family that's growing. How much joy you can bring these fans out here, and just being where your feet are at. I think um, trying not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but just having that bigger picture of we're all growing. I'm going through these new chapters in life coming up, becoming a family of five, and recognizing that it's a new chapter. There's no expectations. We've never done this before. Our girls don't know any different than the way we're raising them right now. I mean, they're all in it with us. And so just the fact that we can breed that family, treat people with respect, and, treat people the way you'd want to be treated.
Yeah, that's beautifully put. It kind of leads me to, and I suspect that you just at least partially answered this. Now that your place on the stage, that the grandest stage of golf, is getting more prominent, right?
Yeah.
You, as a player, represent the Austin Smotherman brand. What message do you want that brand to have for the world?
Gosh, there's so much joy in this world and so much love to give. There's no You have an endless amount inside you to give away. I mean, to smile at someone could make their day, to hold an extra door open. Um, just remembering where you came from, not knowing everybody's story. We're all special and unique in our own right, and we all come from different walks of life. And in this golf world, we all have that commonality, and that's what brings us together. I mean, I had a table Sunday night at Old Palm after I finished runner up, and the the group around me was friends from the Bahamas that were in town, my host family that I met a couple years ago in Palm Beach, that wanted to throw this dinner for me after a great week. My brother-in-law flew in from California for Sunday alone and wanted to watch me play and brought a buddy. Um, my friends from the Bahamas, they got a 16-year-old son, Aiden, who got to play in his first Corn Ferry event this year at Abaco Club. And here he is this week now, walking inside the ropes, hanging out during a practice round at the Arnold Palmer. And it's like, that's what this is all about, bringing people along with you that want to enjoy this ride and not shying away from it, because why not do it with, you know, bigger and better.
That's awesome, man. I'm going to ask you about
Yeah,
your
yeah.
sponsors in just a second, as you know, is our way of saying thank you to you when you get a chance to recognize them as well. But I wanted to touch base on a couple things that you mentioned. You talked about deepening faith. You talked about your team around you. All of it is manifest in the way that you're playing. How much is all of this pathway that you're on to success about trust?
Yeah, just self-belief, trusting my swings, trusting it in the moment, trusting the big picture that, hey, me working on these wedges right now might matter this week, they might matter next week or 3 weeks from now. And every swing has importance to it, whether it's in practice or on the golf course. And those are things that my coach Cameron have instilled in me, my college coaches, all of it from an early age, even back to when my dad and grandpa were teaching me the game.
How much is any point in our lives about the culmination of where we've been, in as much as it's about where we're going?
Gosh, your story is your story. You bring it along with you. You get to define it how, and accept. You have to accept it firstly. There's no going back in time. As a kid, you grew up a certain way, different than others, and that's what makes you special and unique, just like everybody else. And I feel like I'm working on getting to a point to really of accepting, my whole who I am and wanting to share that story, be a part of hearing other people's story too. Because I mean, it's pretty. It's just a cool spot to be in. I don't know what else to say.
It is a cool spot to be in, and your grasping of gratitude and your belief in faith as a staple in your life, your enthusiasm. It's really cool because, again, to have watched you go through the stages, and there's always highs and lows, particularly amongst professional athletes and golfers, to watch you continue to move forward through all of that. It's really cool. And I'm curious, on like a 1 to 10 scale for Austin Smotherman, where do you feel like life is for you at this moment?
I mean, hard to say it's not a 10 out of 10 right now. I mean, playing the PGA Tour, beautiful wife, beautiful family, all the support in the world, whether good golf happens this week, next week, or even if it didn't happen last week, I would still probably say 10 out of 10. I mean, just grateful to be out here. I mean, talking to you, getting to share my story, share who I am, and another cool little tidbit today, this afternoon at 12:30, going off site to a local children's hospital to go do a little, not necessarily a Make-A-Wish, but go bring some Arnold Palmer API gear and make some kids' days. So
that is so cool, man.
Yeah.
I know you realized this a long time ago, but how impactful is it when you realize that it's more than just about what you do with club in hand, that you're on a stage right now that can really impact lives, that can really provide inspiration?
For sure. And I got to give praise to the first tee, growing up and now being in a position to look back and realize, wow, like all these people were doing the same thing to me when I was that age, and showing me love, teaching me, bringing me alongside with them. And yeah, the first tee has been a great program, great supporters of me. And I mean, I owe a lot of my early golf childhood, life skills, core values, that's what they're all about. And yeah, shout out to Angie Dixon, who's celebrating 25 years at the first tee, Greater Sacramento this year. So she's still our executive director there, and just has a great team around her that's grown in its own right.
It's awesome. This idea of love, I want to ask you about your sponsors and how do you, as the CEO of your corporation, right? How do you make a decision to ensure that you love who you're associated with and that somehow it aligns with your ethos?
Yeah. Blessed to have such a personal relationship before any kind of business relationship with nearly all my sponsors. If I go through them, Huntington Bank just acquired Veritex Bank, which I was a longtime partner with. And so they wanted to continue this program. So shout out to Huntington Bank, Sean McCauley and the McCauley Company, Freestone Club, great new sponsor. Shout out to the Todd family, as well as, Titleist FootJoy, Grayson Partners, got to feel good looking out there. So who am I forgetting? That's pretty much it.
Yeah, take a look at your sleeve. Just what's the logo that's
CPC Logistics, brand new sponsor this year, but I've known those guys down in Sea Island for a couple of years. And here they are now wanting to partner up with me, and it's an easy bridge to gap. And the business professional side takes care of itself as long as there's just good people involved.
See, brother, we got you covered. We're going to make sure that you get everybody in there that deserves to be mentioned. So before we let you go, do you guys think you're going to end up with a sleeve of girls?
I think so. Might have another sense, and my daughter goes back and forth nearly every day on if it's a boy, baby brother, baby sister. So Addie, Nelly, if you're watching, you got to tell mama right now who's coming in a couple weeks.
That's awesome. Good luck this week. We love talking to you. We're very proud of what you're doing. And in some ways, Austin, I'm going to tell you, even more proud of who you are as a person and the positivity that you bring to fore. It's so easy for people to be a fan of yours, and I hope you picked up a million more fans today. But we wish you the very best going down the road, and we thank you very much for your time as ever.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks, Matt.
Good seeing you. All right, Austin Smotherman.
You're the best.
You too, man. When we come back, folks, we're going to be joined by a major champion right here on the Fairways of Life show. Stay with us.
Golfers today are a different breed.
Who? Me?
We see the game in a different way.
We all have our own style.
We swing our own swing. But we have one thing in common.
We are all about the details.
Introducing the Revel line of grips from Superstroke. With 3 distinct offerings to choose from, the Revel is in the details.
In Ireland, golf is more than just a game. Come and experience our world-famous links courses and our world-famous Parkland courses, all set alongside world-famous scenery. And visit our world-famous historic sites. And while you're here, enjoy our world-famous hospitality. Fill your heart with Ireland at ireland.com/golf.
Ben Hogan Golf Equipment is back. Established in 1953, we serve golfers who demand excellence of their equipment. Designed by the game's best engineers, forged in the world's best foundries, and built to order in the USA. Don't settle for off-the-rack disappointment. Elevate your game with custom clubs at direct-to-consumer pricing. Exclusively at benhogangolf.com. That's benhogangolf.com.
When you play PXG, everything clicks. That's the sound of confidence, of performance, of knowing your new PXG Gen 8 irons and new Lightning Woods are designed and custom fit for pros and golfers just like you. A better game is just a click away. Visit pxg.com to learn more. PXG, you've never played like this before.
FlightScope Mevo Plus is the ultimate indoor and outdoor golf launch monitor and simulator. It gives you the club and ball data you need with the accuracy you demand. Mevo Plus comes with ownership of simulated golf courses for you to play and practice at home. Mevo Plus is an essential golf partner to help you improve and understand your game better. Put more purpose in your practice. To learn more and get your Mevo Plus, shop now at flightscope.com.
Head down, water down the left, bunker down the right, take the club straight back.
Wandering minds. When golfers lose their focus, they're totally... But Bridgestone can help. Introducing Mindset. The ball scientifically designed to keep you focused.
First, identify your target.
Next, visualize your shot path.
And then focus on the green dot and smooth one.
Play the Tour B and E12 with Mindset technology.
See what happens when we work together? Stuff like that.
Huh. Nice one.
Hey, I'm golf broadcaster Matt Adams, and I have skin cancer, just like almost 10% of the U.S. population, but even more scary, 30% of us golfers. So once again, the legacy of Arnold Palmer is leading the game with Arnie's Mineral Sunscreen. It's a lightweight SPF 50 mineral-based sunscreen that's clean, safe, non-greasy, and no fuss. Log on to shoparnies.com to protect yourself and live life to the fullest, just like the king. Where did you go to make yourself better battle hardened to compete against the best?
Well, I started not only golf, but also I hired Eduardo Molinari to do my stats. He works with a lot of great players. I started working harder on the gym with my trainer Alex Bennett in Jacksonville. I changed sports psychologist because I needed to get a little better with my mental side. So I did a lot of changes that I felt like we needed in my team to make that push forward. And a lot of sacrifice and a lot of hours practicing, but it was very important hiring Eduardo just for me and my coach to focus on really what needed to get better. A lot of times the stats are not really accurate because there's pins that you're not trying to go after, and sometimes the numbers can mislead you to what something's not bad in your game or something's really bad. So with his help, we've made a lot of progress, and found out things that were good enough and some things that had to get a lot better.
More from Nico coming up in just a minute. Welcome back to the PXG Custom Studios. PXG Tour professional and last year's Rookie of the Year, Aldrich Potkeeter, was averaging 322.4 yards off the tee in Los Angeles. That was 10.5 yards ahead of the next longest player. PXG is giving you a performance-first advantage with the new PXG Lightning driver and $100 off a premium shaft upgrade if that's what you need. Book a fitting or build your driver online and gain the same performance with a new PXG Lightning driver. Okay, as to Nico and what he is accomplishing, because it is absolutely remarkable. The finish of the event, the Cognizant, was remarkable too. And I will tell you, you're going to be hearing in just a second from Shane Lowry as well, because I'm sure people felt for the way that it finished. But where there is one that loses the advantage, there's one that has also picked up the win. For Nico, it was his third win on the PGA Tour. But getting to the point of victory, yes, he needed help to do it. And again, you're going to hear from Shane relative to the same in just a second. But even before that, Nico got some help in the form of a hard talking to in advance. Here he is reflecting on the same.
Yeah, we were in an event in the afternoon in Panther National with a charity of the Evan Scholar Foundation, and I was there with my financial advisor John Kovacs, and my wife was there, and I told him, hey, I think I can win this week. I played the Bears Club in the morning with Jack's event. I hit it really good. I played well, and I had this feeling that things were starting to click. I played well in Riviera. Unfortunately, I didn't make a single putt and missed the cut by one. But I knew that coming into Bermuda greens, it was going to be my forte of putting on a different surface. I think the rain helped me with the greens. I struggled a little bit on Friday with how crunchy they were. And I think the surfaces on Saturday and Sunday were absolutely perfect. So it was good weather, good. I can't believe we didn't get rained out today either, or yesterday. So very happy with moving down here, winning this event, and representing my country.
How often do you make those types of predictions?
Not very often. I can't remember the last time I told her I was going to win a tournament. But it's one of those things that we know we like this golf course. This golf course doesn't require a lot of distance off the tee, a lot of placement, a lot of patience. Hitting to the middle of the green, having 20, 30, 40 footers here is good. Some pins are tucked. So I kind of had this feeling that ball striking was there. The putting was going to get better from last week. And I also, one more thing, I changed the ball from Strixon. I changed to a different model because the greens were firm. So I think that helped a lot with the control of coming into the green.
And then President's Cup, this is a huge step toward representing international team at Medina. How much is that on your mind, and what would it mean to play on that team?
To be honest, it's been in my mind for a long, long time. After I made the Olympics and after I made the Masters last year, I changed my screensaver on my phone to the President's Cup, the international logo. It's been there for a long time. I haven't changed it, so it's been on my mind since a long time ago. I went on that trip with the guys to see Medina last year, and it was incredible. We had a great time, so it's very present.
Incredible stuff from Nico. Now a three-time winner, as mentioned, on the PGA Tour. 7 professional wins to his credit. He is 6th in FedEx Cup standings. He's exempt, of course, through the 2028 season, the rest of this season plus the next 2. He's 34th in the official World Golf Rankings. There, you heard him talking about the President's Cup. He's 4th in the International President's Cup standings right now. So if it ended today, he would automatically qualify for the competition at the end of this season. He's 31 years old, 94 PGA Tour starts, 26 PGA Tour top 25s, 11 PGA Tour top 10s. Think about that percentage just for a second. 11 of 94 starts. It's incredible. One of only 3 Colombians to win on the PGA Tour alongside of Villegas and Munoz in that regard. All right, on the LPGA, Hannah Green was the winner. Hannah finishing on 14 under. She will be coming up in the show because normally I would throw the sound from her right now. But I have the pleasure of telling you, I've been teasing you all day about a major champion joining us. She's going to be joining us in just a few seconds. Back to the Cognizant. I talked about how Nico was given the opportunity to win. Well, that opportunity to win had to come on the heels of the collapse of Shane Lowry. Shane Lowry's collapse was shocking, but Shane, a major champion himself, showed poise through his disappointment. This is what he had to say to the media.
I'm obviously extremely disappointed. I had the tournament in my hands and I threw it away. What more can I say? It's twice this year now so far, so I'm getting good at it. But yeah, look, what can I say? Like, I played unbelievable all day, and then one bad shot in 16 and completely threw me for the last 3 holes. It's never happened to me before. I said to Darren, I said, how do I feel like this now when I went through what I did in last September in Bethpage, I got through that fine, and then, I just felt like it was weird out there. I just really, just couldn't feel the club face in the last 3 holes then after my tee shot in 16. It was strange, but, what can I say? It's very, very disappointing. Jeez, like, this is going to be hard to take, yeah. Dubai was hard at the start of the year, but this is going to be pretty hard, yeah.
What do you do? How do you just kind of recover the next few? You just move on and try to forget it?
Yeah, you have no choice, do you? Like, I have a tee time next Thursday in Bay Hill, and I have no choice but to move on. The hardest thing about today is I've never won in front of my 4-year-old, and she was there waiting for me, and yeah, that's what I only wanted it for her today. I didn't want it for her. I don't care about anything else. Like, I wanted it so bad. Just to see her little ginger head running out on the 18 green would have been the most special thing in the world. But I thought I had it. Thought I was going to win. I mean, I didn't get ahead of myself, but like, I felt so comfortable out there, and then tried to get a lot out of my 3-iron down 16. And did the only thing I couldn't really do.
Shane, what was the headspace when you teed off on 17? Were you?
Like, I had an unbelievable up and down, obviously, to make 6 and stay 1 ahead. But then I go up and watch Nico hold that putt for birdie to go back to go tied for the lead, and it was a perfect number for me, and it suited me perfectly. Wind was slightly in out of the left, and that's my bread and butter, a little chip 7-iron. But golf does strange things to you at times, and it certainly did it to me today.
Full credit there to Shane Lowry to speak to the media after what happened at the Cognizant and to be so honest about it. It's, I think, one of the reasons why we love sport, and it's one of the reasons why Shane Lowry is such a popular player globally. Something's happening on the DP World Tour. Sunshine Tour product, Casey Jarvis. He's all of 22 years old, turned professional in 2022. He won 2 times on the Sunshine Tour last year, and it came late. It came at the end of 2025, both of those in November. And here he is now tearing it up on the DP World Tour. He has won again at the South African Open. And for a kid that is so young, again, watch this space. How does it feel?
Oh, this feels amazing. I didn't think my game wasn't good enough at the start of the week. Didn't have good practice rounds, so to be standing in this position right now, I truly feel on top of the world. Yeah, this is definitely a childhood dream of mine, watching Rory at the SO Open, Brandon Stone winning the SO Open. I think we, I suppose, all dream of winning our home Open, so to do it truly feels amazing, and I just can't wait to be going to Augusta.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. How cool is it that you're going to be going to the Masters 2026?
Yeah, I mean, it's so cool. I got no words to describe that feeling. I just know it's going to be absolutely amazing. Hopefully Tiger's playing because he's my role model. But yeah, it's amazing.
Big week for TGL. Jupiter Golf Links Boston Commons. Here we go. This was from Sunday. Max Homer from 19 feet walks it in. Jupiter is bumped. They needed that to tie the hole and stay in it. Jupiter really needing a victory to improve their playoff chances. Let's head to the 12th. Keegan Bradley here. 10 feet away. And he's got it. Boston goes up 6-4. Teammate Adam Scott looking on. Jupiter will not go down without a fight, though. Tom Kim on the last chance from about 6 feet. Yeah. Heading to overtime after the team split the first 2 chip-offs. It all comes down to this. Hideki Matsuyama from 10 feet, 4 inches. That would settle. Not bad. Jupiter's hopes then shift to Max Homa. He would be from the same spot, same chip. This one is tasty, too. Did he do it? Is it enough?
So Jupiter Links loses by 4.
You just heard it. Only 5 inches would determine. Rory Keegan spoke about the victory after.
Fun night. I think, there's always a little bit of extra energy in the building when Tiger's here. So, we came out, we played well. Jupiter came back at us, and it was just sort of back and forth the whole night. And yeah, obviously we knew we were in the playoffs, but to get through this one and clinch that 1 seed, hopefully makes the path easier in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, just it's the first time for me getting to play with Hideki this year, and thought we all played great, and yeah, it was a good night.
Yeah, I think, we've come a long way from last year. We wanted to get the 1 seed. I think in the playoffs, every team's so good. Every team's so good in here anyways. But, it's really, we take a lot of pride in having a much better year here the second time around, and look forward to the playoffs.
From Sunday to Monday we go. L.A. versus New York at the 7th. Justin Rose of L.A. Golf Club on a tee for 151. LA's leading 2-1 at this point. Look at this. Down the slope, it would go. It would settle to 3 feet, and that is a point for LA, as they then would go up by a score of 3-1. Let's stay with solid iron play from LA. Colin Morikawa now, very next hole from 110 yards. And look at the spin that he gets on this one. This would end up settling inside of 6 feet. It would lead to another point. Now they're up 4-1. New York running out of chances maybe. Matt Fitzpatrick here at the 14th from 23 feet to try to make this one. And he does. The lead would shrink to 1 as we head to the last. Cam Young for New York. Last opportunity, and that is not going to cut it. The penalty would be enough to seal the victory for LA, locking up their playoff spot as a number 2 seed after the 6-3 victory. Tommy Fleetwood spoke to the win.
No, I think we've touched on, like last year, how, I'm not going to say it came easy to us, but we obviously came out the blocks very, very hot, and we sort of cruised through, whereas this year it's been different, and I think we've shown like kind of different qualities, if you like, and we've had to sort of go about it a different way, just having to start off slow and then gain momentum. But I don't know if we've done anything different. I think we've just played well. I think we've stepped up to the occasion in those 2 tough matches. And Justin just said before, like I didn't know sort of how dodgy of a spot we were in. Like we weren't looking great at one stage. So to come in, the last 2 weeks and have those 2 matches feels really, really good. Like we can take that with us into the playoffs.
All right, then on Tuesday, Jupiter versus the Bay. Last match of the regular season. Winner gets in the playoff, loser goes home. Picking up the 10th with Max Homer. He's with Jupiter, already down 4-2. This is his second at the par 5. He's 235 yards away.
Oh, baby. Go.
This one would end up settling 28 feet away, and that would lead to a point as Jupiter is fighting their way back into this. Yep. Here we go. I know you've seen it all. It's been all over social media. It's lighting it on fire with the hammer thrown. The hole worth 2 points. Tom Kim at 14, 138 yards away. Jupiter still down 1. No. Did he? Can he? Really good. Pandemonium. Tiger's jumping around with him with the bad back and all. Tiger's got to be ready for the Masters now. Hugs for everybody all around. Kim can't believe it. Neither can the crowd. That would do it. Sees it on the line, and Jupiter Golf Links comes through. That hole-in-one would catapult Jupiter Golf Links into the last playoff slot and send the Bay Club home packing. The second hole-in-one of TGL history comes at a possible moment. Wow. Here is Tom and Tiger after the victory.
It's a shot that I've hit well before, and it's a shot that I've practiced a lot in the stadium, and I haven't made much hole-in-ones in my life, and not a better way to do it than today.
Is that the most fun you've had on a golf course without hitting a golf shot?
Yeah, this was a blast to be with these guys. This was our original team last year, so we bonded last year and coming into this year, and then obviously adding Akshay. We've had a blast. I mean, that's the thing. We had a blast last year. We're having a blast this year, and for each one of these guys to earn the holes coming in and contribute like they did, it couldn't be more special and better for these guys. Well, I think this is what we set out to do with TGL, right? We're trying to grow the game, try to do it differently. We don't normally play golf at 9 to 11 at night, and so to be able to do this out here and to have this showcase, to have these group of guys, to be able to do what we did at the end, to have a hole-in-one, to have everything that happened at the very end, I mean, that's what it was all about. That's why we started it, and we were able to grow the game that way.
All right, so here are the standings at the end of regular season and heading into the playoffs accordingly. 4 teams. I like that a couple of the teams that got into the playoffs this year were far from it last year, so it shows that type of versatility and viability with the league. All right, you heard me mention Bay Hill. We are thinking about it this week because this week is the Arnold Palmer Invitational presented by MasterCard, and we're psyched about all that goes into that. So let's take a look at some of the notes that surround Arnie's event at Bay Hill. You've already heard a couple of the players today telling us just how much of a challenge this golf course can be. It is a signature event. It is held at Arnold Palmer's Bay Hill Club and Lodge in Orlando. $20 million per 700 FedEx Cup points to the winner. 72 players in the field. There will be, because this is an invitational 36-hole cut to the top 50 and ties. All of the top 10 in the official World Golf Rankings at Bay Hill. All of the top 10 in the FedEx Cup are at Bay Hill. 28 of the 30 in the official World Golf Rankings are in the field. Those that are not, Patrick Reed and Terrell Hatton. In terms of the Arnold Palmer Invitational and past champions, it's a who's who. I mean, look down the bottom. You're looking at 12. Tiger Woods, 13. Tiger Woods. Matt Every twice after that. Jason Day. Rory McIlroy. Francesco Molinari leading into his win at the Open that year. Bryson. Scotty again. Russell, our defending champion. Notable players in 2026. You already heard about how stout these players are in terms of the world rankings. Scheffler, Fleetwood, Morikawa, Henley, Spieth, Oberg, McIlroy, Rose, Goddard, Schauffele, Thomas, and Hovland. As to those players that played their way in, the Aon Swing 5, congratulations to Nikolai Højgaard, Patrick Rogers, Taylor Moore, Andrew Putnam, and Keith Mitchells. This is one of those pathways to get into the signature events, the next 10, Jake Knapp, Echeverria is in there, Minwoo Lee, Cootie, Hisasune, Scott, Podkeeter, you heard me mention today, Austin, who was just with us, McCarty, Thigala, all through the Aon next 10. Now, coverage we'll have it for you on PGA Tour Live for the 5th through the 8th. I will actually be doing the world coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Very much looking forward to it. We'll be working with Dame Laura Davies and Radar Riley with that one. Wayne Riley. The Arnold Palmer Invitational coverage domestically on ESPN+. Let's start with Golf Channel Thursday and Friday from 2 to 6. Saturday and Sunday from 12:30 to 2:30 on Golf Channel. And then from 2:30 to 6 p.m., it will be on NBC. As to the radio coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational, Thursday and Friday from noon, Saturday and Sunday from 1 p.m. Andrew, could you go back to the ESPN Plus coverage? Just want to make sure I pay off the actual hours that we will be on. From Thursday, tomorrow from 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. You can find the coverage. Remember, those are 4 different feeds on ESPN Plus, PGA Tour Live. The coverage that I was just talking about is outside of the United States. We're, as I mentioned, to 170 countries outside of the USA, including Sky, which is always fun to hear from friends back in Ireland and in the UK. Very much looking forward to all of that. There is no doubt. You heard me teasing you all day that we had a major champion coming up. It is Hannah Green that we mentioned. She's just etched another victory in her distinctive resume. When we come back, we're going to be talking to her live. I believe that she's home in Perth, Australia. The communication, because of the technology, is amazing. Stay with us.
You think you know Florida golf? Think again. 4 legendary courses and counting. Carved from reclaimed earth where a mining past meets a golf future. Wild but intentional, this is golf that makes you feel something. Legendary courses, unforgettable moments. This is Stream Song.
Head down, water down the left, bunker down the right, take the club straight back.
Wandering minds. When golfers lose their focus, they're totally... But Bridgestone can help. Introducing Mindset. The ball scientifically designed to keep you focused.
First, identify your target.
Next, visualize your shot path.
And then focus on the green dot and smooth one.
Play the Tour B and E12 with Mindset technology.
See what happens when we work together? Stuff like that.
Imagine your ultimate golf experience. There's a good chance it's Michigan's Magnificent 11. 11 spectacular courses from Boyne Golf, varied in both topography and play. Boyne Golf was named the #1 best golf destination in USA Today Reader's Choice 2025. And the Highlands at Harbor Springs is the #2 golf resort in that same USA Today poll. The ultimate golf experience. That's Michigan's Magnificent 11.
This is golf.
A shot, honey.
And this is Golf's Superstore.
Oh, yeah, we'll take this.
When you play PXG, everything clicks. That's the sound of confidence, of performance, of knowing your new PXG Gen 8 irons and new Lightning Woods are designed and custom fit for pros and golfers just like you. A better game is just a click away. Visit pxg.com to learn more. PXG, you've never played like this before.
Hey, I'm golf broadcaster Matt Adams. You know, Hub's Peanuts has been cooking up the top 1% of peanuts for over 70 years. And these aren't your average nut. These are super extra large Virginia peanuts cooked in the USA. Family-owned Hub's Peanuts have more protein than any other nuts. So whether it's a boost on the course or a special gift, the variety of flavors guarantees Hub's Peanuts is just what you need. Family-owned, nutritious, delicious, and sustainable. Hub's Peanuts, it's just right. HubsPeanuts.com.
FlightScope Mevo Plus is the ultimate indoor and outdoor golf launch monitor and simulator. It gives you the club and ball data you need with the accuracy you demand. Mevo Plus comes with ownership of simulated golf courses for you to play and practice at home. Mevo Plus is an essential golf partner to help you improve and understand your game better. Put more purpose in your practice. To learn more and get your Mevo Plus, shop now at flightscope.com.
4! This is golf, and this is Golf Superstore, the only place you can walk in for a free driver fitting, have it built, and tee it up the same day. Try Fit and Go today.
We are spanning the globe on the Fairways of Life show today. Absolutely delighted to continue our list of prominent guests. Hannah Green, 7 PGA Tour wins to her credit, including the 2019 KPMG Women's PGA Champion. This major champion also has etched victories 3 times on the Epson Tour, 14 times overall as a professional. Currently second in the CME Globe ranking. She moves to 9th in the world in the Rolex rankings. This distinctive win that she just had last weekend at the HSBC Women's World Championship had her husband Jared on the bag, which I think, I'm going to ask her in a second, I think it was the first time that he's been on the bag, and it comes with a win. She's still under 30 years old, 163 LPGA Tour starts to her credit, 35 LPGA Tour career top 10s, and a 2-time International Crown representative for Australia. Hannah's joining us live right now from Perth. Hannah, what's up? Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. When did you get home from Singapore?
So Singapore is actually only a 5-hour flight from where I live. So I decided to, yes, only because us Australians usually travel very long times to get back. So I got back Monday morning. I took the red eye. Wasn't feeling that great after taking it, but obviously after winning a golf tournament, it was still pretty good.
When you have to do that much traveling, as all of you ladies do, what hurts from the travel? Is it your lower back? Do you get up and walk around the airplane to make sure you keep yourself loose? But after a while, when you're cramped in there, what makes you realize that you just flew for 20 hours?
Yeah, I think the first thing is definitely the lower back for most of us golfers in particular. I think when it comes to like a 16-hour flight, most of the time we try and get up, do some stretching, try and actually walk around a little bit, but obviously you're still kind of confined, and sometimes the best thing to do is just get as much sleep as possible. But I have done that a lot of times. I think sometimes when I look at how much I fly, it ends up being nearly 2 weeks of the entire year is how many hours I spend on an airplane, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I kind of just used to it being from Australia and being a homebody and wanting to come back as much as possible.
When you sleep on an airplane, do you care? Like when I sleep, my neck always ends up hurting because of the way you're sitting in the chair. Do you have like a pillow or something, one of those blow-ups that you put around your neck? How do you keep yourself comfortable?
Yes, I actually don't travel with one, but I feel like I should. I think my physio that I work with on tour would probably say that I should, but I'm actually really bad. Well, I don't know if this is a good thing, but I actually fall asleep really quickly as soon as I get onto the flight. So I think the most important thing for me is to actually stay awake so that I don't fall asleep in a strange position and then wake up sore later. So I guess, I don't know. I do have some things that I try and do, but trying to sleep is usually what I try to do at the right times.
Have you ever done a thing, though, when you fall asleep and there's like some stranger next to you and you go...
Haven't we all done that before? I'm pretty sure I was doing that on the flight home, actually. I think the flight attendant was trying to talk to me and I feel like I was probably half asleep, poor lady. But yes, I feel like all of us have been in that situation where we've had the head nods or even the accidental like sideways tap. So only human.
Hey, I want to talk to you about golfers from Australia. And I want to talk to you about the challenges. I mean, it's not just about performance and talent when you have golfers from Australia through history of time, but it's also about the obstacles of getting to where you want to go to. And I will get to that in a second. So I mention it so that you keep me honest and remind me to come back to it. Because as you as a major champion, and a multiple-time winner before even this weekend. All of you guys throughout the years have always told me that every win is different in its own particular way. How was this most recent victory for you different than all the others?
I think last year was probably one of my more challenging years on tour. I had a pretty decent start to my season, had a good preseason, nothing really had changed. And then kind of after our first 3 majors, I came back home, reassessed, and then came to Evian and just had no idea where the ball was going off the tee. And so it was kind of the first time, which is quite lucky. It's been, I guess, 8 or 9 years that I'd ever really faced that type of feeling on the golf course. And so that kind of seeped through my entire game, kind of doubting myself and, not really sure what's going on. So I actually decided to come back to Australia for, I think, 4 or 5 weeks in the end, and just had maybe a couple weeks where I didn't touch a club, just enjoy being home, kind of forget about what had been going on the golf course. And then just got training, then went and played in Asia and had some really good results. So that was kind of nice. But it's, I feel like golf, you never really know what's going to happen. Even when you are, usually in control of your golf ball, you still can't control what other people do. So this win that I had over on the weekend, it felt like very different to me because I hadn't been playing, I guess, as well as I would have liked. And it was actually the first time I'd been as nervous as I was on a golf course when being in contention. I was saying to my husband and caddy, even with 5 or 6 holes to play, like I felt really quite nervous and it felt like my hands were almost shaking when I was putting. So he said that it didn't really look that way, but I've never really had those internal feelings before. And all the wins that I've had on tour, I felt like I kind of was in control. But on Sunday, I felt like it wasn't really in my control. So it was kind of strange, but also very special to be able to have been able to, actually achieve winning the golf tournament and having my husband alongside me.
When you were going through, I'm going to kind of go backwards in the way you just described it and go to the victory and dealing with the nerves and dealing with feeling like that you're shaking with everything that was going on inside. Where did you go? Where was the well of trust there to allow you to perform and do what you had to do, especially with the glory that you had in that final round? I'll let you define it as you see fit, but I have one particular thought in mind. But where did you go to convince yourself to say, this is exactly what I've lived my life for and trained for? Let your body do what it knows how to do.
Yeah, I think it was more importantly acknowledging that I was feeling that way. Not really, I always think that nerves are for a good reason. It's because it's something as important to you. Again, you've worked so hard to put yourself in those positions. When you finally get to that moment, it's kind of normal to expect some nerves, but I guess, we just made sure that, I was well hydrated, actually ate some food just so that my concentration levels wouldn't drop with still an hour of golf to be played. So I think it's more just acknowledging that it's normal, even though some people outwardly show it a little bit more than others. So just acknowledging it, trying to accept it, and then, move past it was kind of what we tried to do.
Now, again, in that sequence where I started from the most recent moving backwards, when we go back to your reference to last year, when you were in these valleys of doubt, leading you to go to the end of the year and take a couple weeks away from the game, not even touch a golf club. When you were there at that point of questioning the doubt, the confidence, etc., how did you discipline yourself to not tweak with your golf swing? Do you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of players panic and go, geez, this isn't working anymore. I got to change something. I got to change everything. How were you able to stay resolute in who you were as a player and who you were in terms of your dynamic and athletic movement and not mess with it?
Yeah, I think when I was playing in Europe, able to catch up with my coach, Richie Smith, who I've been working with ever since I've been a kid. So all my patterns and everything that we've been working on really hasn't changed over the years. There's things that creep in that I know do creep in, and I think because I was playing so poorly, we were trying to find different ways to go around it instead of probably just going back to the drawing board and just going back to the basics that I know what I do and know how to resolve it. So it was a little bit of, perhaps it was, my physical technique, but I think more it was mental. But it is quite easy to try and dissect your golf game and see what's going wrong when it's perhaps not even that bad. So it was a really tricky one to get over, and I think that was why I needed to kind of just take 2 weeks away from actually touching a club. Just not be so hard on myself. Kind of look back and accept what had happened, and then move forward and get back into a really good mindset to then be able to practice and believe in myself again.
From the standpoint of mindset, then, Hannah, your emotions, etc. Fast forwarding once more to what you did last weekend, having worked through all that and once again be a champion on the global stage, is it possible to define it? Is there something that you would be able to say, well, this is what I've learned and this is why I'm a better player moving forward?
I don't really know if there is a way to define it, but I guess I am fortunate enough that this is my 10th season as a professional. I have had a lot of success. I've been very fortunate with this sport, like 14 wins on tour. So it was kind of just more so believing in myself for all those memories that I've had on the golf course. And Singapore is a place that I have won before. So I think just being able to draw on those positive things was what I tried to do as much as possible the entire week. But yeah, I don't really know if I would say there was a definitive moment or why it happened, but I guess just the amount of work that you put into the golf game, you hope that sometimes it would be rewarding. And I guess that's why we practice. That's why we do this for a living, is to be able to, have these successful moments, but sometimes success isn't always just having the trophy in your hands.
I guess then that would encapsulate in some ways, although I'm going to ask you the question nonetheless. What message would you have for golfers, for people around the world when they're going through their own valleys of doubt, when their confidence is trying to climb back up the mount again? What message do you have for them?
I think golf and life can be so complicated, and I think we always try and make it a lot harder than what it can be. So just making it as simple as possible. Just having a few things that you can look back to and think about, and not let too many thoughts or everything get to you. I think the simpler the better usually when it comes to golf or anything. So just not being hard on yourself and just trusting yourself. Obviously easier said than done, but I feel like that helps.
Well, I was going to pick up on this theme of it's complicated. And I am going to ask you, just so you know, I'm going to ask you about your sponsors in just a second before we wrap up here. But when you talk about complications, you had your husband, Jared, on the bag. You were just talking about it, right? And we all know the old axiom for caddies, show up, keep up, shut up. How did you balance that dynamic when it's your husband carrying the bag?
Yes. So it wasn't supposed to be the plan. I do work with a caddy full time, and he and his wife are trying to get a green card. And so it means that he can't travel overseas at the moment. So I asked Jared, my husband, if he could work for me for the events that Dave can't come to. And he was quite happy to do it. He is a professional golfer himself and knows the game very well, been playing just as long as I have. That's how we met. So we've always wanted to be the best at our craft, and it was really sweet to have him there with me. And I think he really helped with the nerves. I was able to tell him as a player, but also as a wife, how I was feeling. But yeah, it was very special. It was my 7th win on tour, which is my favorite number. So I felt like, it was just a very, very cool week to experience with him.
Why is 7 your favorite number?
Look, I have no idea. I feel like people get their favorite numbers from perhaps people that play sport or just something that has happened to them in their life. But this happens to be one of my favorite clubs in my bag and a number that has been very good to me over the years. So that's why it is my favorite number. So yeah, it was kind of cool for that to be happen on Sunday.
Hannah, whether it was the break of a putt, whether it was a shot downwind into it or cross, what was a shot that Jared gave you counsel on in this event over the course of these rounds where he was just dead wrong in retrospect?
It wasn't actually in Singapore. So the last hole Thailand the week prior, it's a par 5, reachable in 2. I think they had moved the tee box forward to, have us players go for it in 2. And I kind of said to him, is it 3 wood or is that a bit too aggressive? Do I just hit the 5 wood, hopefully hit the green, 2 putt, whatever it may be? He was like, no, I think 5 wood is good. And unfortunately, I actually mishit it. So it probably was still the right club. But I didn't proceed to make up and down. I missed like a 6-foot putt for birdie. And he's like, oh, like we should have hit 3 wood. Like he said it the entire Sunday afternoon. We should have hit 3 wood. I shouldn't have called the 5 wood. I could have easily made that putt and we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. Like it wasn't the wrong club. So he was a bit hard on himself considering it's his first time he's ever really caddied for anyone. But I wouldn't even say it was the wrong club.
To that earlier conversation we had about golfers coming from Australia, how significant is the obstacle of time and space, given the fact that not only do you have to hone your game to an elite level, but now you have to be willing to commit yourself to take that game far and wide in order to prove it?
Yeah, it is difficult. I mean, we've had so many good Australian players come through, the amateur ranks, turn professional, and then kind of realize that tour life isn't probably as easy as perhaps they thought it would be. It's a big sacrifice. Unfortunately, as females especially, we don't really have the opportunity to play a whole lot of golf tournaments in Australia to be able to, make a living and perhaps not even play. Kind of whether you want to play ladies European Tour or if you want to play on the LPGA. Back when I turned professional, I was fortunate enough to play on the Epsom Tour, graduated onto the LPGA. So I think if I didn't have that year on the Epsom Tour, I wouldn't really have known what it was like, traveling all year round. And I'm kind of glad that I had that year to get to know how I work when I'm traveling and what works best for me before going onto the big stage of the LPGA. But it's a big sacrifice. We're probably 8 or 9 months, and not always in a very consistent chunks of that time. So it's a big sacrifice. I mean, everyone has to do it. Not everyone's at home for the 20 to 30 weeks of the year. But I feel like I'm very fortunate. I don't really feel like it's a job most days. So I think a lot of people don't get to experience that.
That's for sure. Have your goals changed for 2026 with what you did last week?
Well, I was actually quite surprised how much my world ranking had changed. I thought perhaps I would just be outside the top 10, but I've managed to sneak back in. So I might have to reassess that come the summer. I thought it might take maybe a couple more weeks or even a couple more months to get back into the top 10, so might have to reevaluate that. But as far as my other goals, it was to be more consistent throughout the season, contend a little bit more in the major championships compared to how I've performed the last few years. So those are still what I have in mind and will continue to practice for.
When you look at this graphic that we're about to pop in here, Hannah, is there a particular venue, a particular event that stands out to you and go, yeah, I think that works for my game?
I mean, I have to say Hazeltine National. That's where I first major championship. But unfortunately, I've been back since I won back in 2019, which is a shame, as I am, I guess, a member now from my win. But, all of those venues are really good venues. The course in Houston, I have not yet played, but the others I have played, fortunately. So all of them are going to be really strong events, going to have the best fields and the best women's golfers in the world. So hopefully my game can be sharp for those 5 weeks.
Yeah, when you look at the Chevron, I love when you take the best players in the world and put you on a golf course where no one really has an advantage of advanced knowledge or deep knowledge, at least at a competitive championship setup, because then you just see pure talent starting to play itself out. And so we're really looking forward to that as well. I promised you that I would ask you about your sponsors, and we do that as a way to say thank you to you and give you an opportunity to say thank you to them. You want to tell us about who you're associated with?
Yes. So I have a lot of great companies that I'm fortunate to have sponsorships with. ISBS Honda has been one of my longest, sponsors. Ford Australia, Gooder Sunglasses, and Cisco. I joined them a couple of years ago, and obviously Strix and Golf Clubs. So very fortunate to have lots of great partners that I align with and that have supported me for a long, long time. So thanks for actually giving me the time to be able to say thanks. I feel like I probably don't say it enough.
You know, it's really hard to do what you just did. When you're pointing, when you do it on camera, it's opposite what you think. And you knew exactly where the Cisco. It's not easy. Best of luck to you. Best of luck to Jared. Long may your success continue to march on. Thank you so much for your time once again, and we wish you great success continuing down your path.
Thanks so much for having me on.
It's our pleasure. See you, Hannah. Ben Hogan Golf is back. If you want to have the clubs of a legend in your bag, you can do it with Ben Hogan Golf. And yes, it is very much about having his name etched right in the metal, but it's also ensuring that you etch your very best golf in the season that lies before you. It's that time of year to start thinking about it. There's a few cracks in this weather from coast to coast, and why not play the very best with Ben Hogan? Because not only are they absolute works of art, and they are, please check out benhogangolf.com and prove it for yourself, but they're packed with all of the latest technology. Again, benhogangolf.com for more. We will be back with more in the Fairways of Life show right after this. The King. It is a week to honor his legacy. The impact that Arnold Palmer made on the game is still being felt today and will forevermore, with the way that he grasped the power of a touring professional, and he did it with his broad shoulders and his personality. Time now for Did You Know? And yeah, we are focusing it on Arnold Palmer. This is FlightScope i4 rangefinder, which is like a caddy in your pocket, because the data that it gives you is not just from here to there. It takes into account everything. We're talking about humidity, we're talking about wind, we're talking about slope, and more. And then it gives you a personalized gapping from one club to another, so that the recommendation of what club you should use can give you the confidence to use that club given the circumstances. Log on to flightscope.com for more information how you can play your very, very best with the i4 range finder. Let's take a look about talking about Mr. Palmer and his absolutely remarkable career. Inaugural class of the World Golf Hall of Fame in 1974. He won 62 times on the PGA Tour, which was 5th all time. And I remember him telling me that more emphasis should be played upon just wins on tour. We all look at major championships. You'll see he had 95 professional wins to his credit overall, but he was a 7-time major champion. That is incredible, but yet he still said, no, overall wins on the PGA Tour should still be taken with more weight and consideration. He was a 4-time Masters champion. There you see it in 58, 60, 62, and 64. And each one of those wins was distinctive historically in their own way. The 1960 U.S. Open, talk about history coming back in that final round at Cherry Hills. A 2-time Open champion in 61 and 62. Many people say that he saved the Open post-World War II. It is a fascinating thing to consider one way or the other. In 1954, he won the U.S. Amateur up in Detroit. 10 PGA Tour Champions wins, 5 senior majors to add to his credit. 6 times he represented the United States on the Ryder Cup team. He was the last to be a captain and a player on the United States Ryder Cup team. And you can see his captaincy spanned twice in 1963 and in 1975. This week of the Arnold Palmer Invitational, as I mentioned, we're honoring all things Arnold Palmer, and rightfully so, because of the impact that he has made on the game of golf. And it leads us to another conversation that we are extremely proud of, and that is a new addition to the Fairways of Life family. Arnie's Mineral Sunscreen, I was introduced to it at the PGA show this year. And I was sent out to do a feature on it. I met Garrett, the owner, the visionary behind it. And the feature we did was for Golf Channel, and I lingered there talking to him. And if any of you are longtime watchers or listeners when we were just radio side to the Fairways of Life show, then you know what skin protection and sunscreen and going to see a dermatologist means to me personally, and the message that I have about how important it should be to everyone. So being able to introduce you to Arnie's Mineral Sunscreen in particular, and their full line, as you can see it arrayed here before me with the legend himself in the middle, that there are ways that you can help protect yourself are so important. So the first thing we did was we put together a commercial. And I don't even know if it's in the commercial block wherever you're watching is around the globe, but I'm going to have Andrew pull it up. Now, here is our new commercial for Arnie's Mineral Sunscreen.
Hey, I'm golf broadcaster Matt Adams, and I have skin cancer, just like almost 10% of the U.S. population, but even more scary, 30% of us golfers. So once again, the legacy of Arnold Palmer is leading the game with Arnie's Mineral Sunscreen. It's a lightweight SPF 50 mineral-based sunscreen that's clean, safe, non-greasy, and no fuss. Log on to shoparnies.com to protect yourself and live life to the fullest, just like the king.
To me, ultimately, everything that we do in life and in golf comes down to the why. And in this case, I am so proud that we are associated with this company. I am so proud that Mr. Palmer's name is once again attached to something of such prominence. I believe with all my heart that this product will help people and this product will save lives. I think it's critically important for all of us as golfers. You heard it just in that commercial, 30% of golfers are going to get skin cancer. Sometimes it's melanoma, which can be lethal. But even if it's not, it can have a disfiguring effect on your body or get into your lymph nodes and make you very, very sick. All I'm saying is it's easy to just go see a dermatologist. Go see a dermatologist and protect yourself in the sun. ShopArnies.com. Speaking of Mr. Palmer, and I love this bridge, because every year we intend to honor the legacy of Arnold Palmer. We had the honor of sitting down with Mr. Palmer for what we believe was the last long-form interview that he ever conducted. When we had the cameras set up in this tiny little house off the 18th green at Bay Hill, that at the time Mr. Palmer was probably still bringing in tens of millions in endorsements annually. And he sat down in this big high-back chair in this tiny house, and he looked around, and he said, I used to live here. And he said, I'm thinking about moving back in again. And the power of that moment from Mr. Palmer, who at the time, was more frail than we were accustomed to seeing him, and sadly we lost him not long after, to have the humility of looking around at this tiny place and going, it's big enough for me. For a man whose impact on the game is so big that it's nearly immeasurable, and yet his personality was so approachable by so many. So here you're going to see that interview, and we trained all the cameras on Mr. Palmer alone because his words were reflective of a life, but they also were a bridge to history. Champion, architect, ambassador, mentor, role model, icon, legend, the king. There's a lot of names that describe Arnold Palmer. His accomplishments, however, probably describe it most emphatically. 5th all-time on tour in wins. A 4-time Masters champion in 1958, 1960, 1962, and 1964. The U.S. Open champion in 1960. Winner of the Open Championship in 1961 and 1962. In 1974, he went into the World Golf Hall of Fame. Overall, he has more than 90 professional victories. Leading money winner 4 times. PGA Player of the Year 2 times. Varden Trophy winner 4 times. The Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year in 1960. The Bob Jones Award recipient in 1971. Old Tom Morris Award 1983. The PGA Tour Lifetime Achievement Award in 1988, the Payne Stewart Award in 2000, the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2004, the Congressional Gold Medal in 2009. Arnold Palmer played on 6 Ryder Cup teams, last playing captain, in fact, for the United States, and was captain again in 1975. Mr. Palmer, it's nice to have your company, sir.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
Pretty good. I'm starting to get back to normal. I feel fine. Thank you.
The shoulder, you dislocated it in December, correct?
Yes.
What happened?
I fell. I was on my way to speak at the father-son and slipped on a carpet and did a 360 and landed on my shoulder.
Oh.
And it's been a long, hard battle to try to get it better.
Yeah, the healing has to take some time. Did you know right away the severity of the injury? Could you tell when you went down?
Well, I knew it wasn't good when I hit the floor, and it scared me. I gotta say that, and I've been working hard to get it back. I feel like I'm about ready to go, but it'll be a couple days yet.
Is it a foregone conclusion that the thing you miss the most is the ability to swing a golf club right now?
Well, you know, I always fiddle with clubs, and I hit the swing all the time, and I haven't been able to do that since the accident.
When will they let you start to putt, or at least chip a little bit?
Well, I hit some shots, various shots on the range, wedges and that sort of thing. But that's about as far as I've gone. And my therapist says another day or two will not hurt, just hold off.
I have to tell you, Mr. Palmer, that in January of this year, my oldest son, he blew his ACL out playing soccer, and he was operated on at the Arnold Palmer Children's Hospital. And in as much as, you know, having a child go through any type of surgery is a disconcerting experience, the experience at the hospital that bears your name was as pleasant as it possibly could be. And I wonder, when you list all those when you hear all those accomplishments that you have to your credit in your life, where does that hospital place for you personally?
Well, it's right at the top of the list. It's the hospital, what they do for the kids and ladies is wonderful. The doctors, the aides, the workers that are given their time to take care of the hospital, it's pretty fantastic.
I have to say, respectfully, at 85 years young, even with the injury and the healing, you look good, you look vibrant, you still have that spark in your eye. Are you enjoying your work still? Does it still motivate you every day?
Oh yes, I still work every day, and I still get a kick out of it. And sometimes I get tired and want to go to sleep, and do. But that's the difference. And I miss playing golf. That's something that I never done in my life, not played.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to getting back to hitting the ball.
To this point of your work, during the Arnold Palmer Invitational presented by MasterCard, you discussed with the assembled media that you're building a golf course in Scotland, and it's your first one in Scotland. Could you talk to us about that project?
Well, it's one that I'm looking forward to. It is a new project for me. It's just north of St. Andrews, and it's one that we're going to really put a lot of time into, and hopefully make it a really great golf course.
One of the stories that I just heard recently was, and I guess it was prompted by, Rory had a club throw at Doral. And someone told a story about when you were a kid, you were in a junior tournament, I believe, right? And you threw a club. Could you tell us that story and what happened?
Well, I was playing in a junior tournament. I was 16, and I was playing pretty good. And I was playing the mayor of Pittsburgh's son, Waddell, and I missed a short putt on the 17th hole, and I turned and let the putter fly. and over a row of trees, and my father was there, and as it turned out, I holed the putt on the last hole to win the match, and I got in the car to go home with my family, and it was dead silent. There was not a sound, and I expected something, at least nice going or something. The next thing I heard was the chewing out, and if you ever do that again, you'll never play golf as long as you live in my house. And that was my father talking, and he was very serious.
Did you ever throw a club again?
Well, maybe a little pitch, but not real bad. That taught me a lesson.
When you think about your dad and the lessons that he taught you over the years, could you boil it down to one philosophy or one piece of advice?
Well, I learned everything I know from my father, and I can't ever thank him enough for what he did for me in my youth.
I've heard you speak about your dad in saying that he concentrated on the fundamentals of the game from grip onward. Could you comment on that perspective from your dad?
Well, he was a fundamental man. He was very basic. He taught me the grip, the stance, the position, and all the things that I learned about the game of golf. He taught me. And I can't, as I said, I can't thank him enough, because it was something that I still use every day of my life. And I'm very grateful for what he did.
When he put your hands on the club, that grip, that famous grip, what did he say to you?
He said, "Now, don't you ever change that, boy." And I knew he meant it. And I haven't. I still hold the club much the way that he put my hands on the club.
That strength in fundamentals, that giving you the belief that you can do it the way that you see it. I think back to the story, 1954, U.S. Amateur. Wilson Golf sends Gene Sarazen out to scout you, and he came back and said he lunges at the ball, he plays a hook. I don't see it developing into much. We just recounted what you developed into. Was that part of the motivation, the competitive makeup of Arnold Palmer, to, at least initially, to prove to the world that you can do this?
Well, that's one of the other things that my father taught me in my learning stages of the game of golf. He gave me the basic fundamentals, and he taught me not to talk too much about what I could do, show people, and he drove that home with me. He said, and it's something that I remember very, very well. Show them, don't talk about it.
When you have quiet times to reflect, to sit in front of a fireplace perhaps and just relax, where does your mind go? What are the times that you look back on and reflect?
Well, of course, I usually remember the good times we had, the golfing days, the things that I did with my father and mother, and they are all things that are very pleasant, things that I love, whether it's skiing down the hill or ice skating or playing golf. They were all things that were very pleasant, and today I enjoy remembering them.
When you go back to Augusta National, one of the things I've been dying to ask you about is the Champions Dinner. Can you remember your first Champions Dinner?
Oh yes, and of course I remember most of the people that were there, and there wasn't a large crowd. It was very limited, and it was wonderful. Sarazen was there for sure, and Bob Jones was one of my favorites, and he was there, and it was nice to talk to him, to talk to these people, because it was my first dinner, and to hear them and listen to them tell stories about how some of the other golfers played, and the guys like Claude Harmon and guys that were really known for what they did and how they played was fun.
Was there anyone over those years and since, was there anyone that you in particular wanted to sit next to at this Champions Dinner because you knew it would be entertaining?
Well, no, but I enjoyed Kerry Middlecoff, and Byron Nelson was one of my very favorites of all time. I think that he might have been the best that I ever had the opportunity to know and to talk to, and he talked to me about things that he has done and he did, and those are things that I'll never forget.
That is impressive. What was Bob Jones like to be around?
Bob Jones was a great guy. He was one that talked and didn't mind talking. I remember he watched me make a putt on one of the holes during a match, and it was about an 8-footer, and when I finished, he came over to me and he said, "Arn," he says, "let me tell you something." He says, "if I ever have a putt for my life, I'm going to come and get you to putt it for me."
That just sent a chill through me.
Isn't it fun? Yeah, it's fun.
I want to, if I may, I want to ask you about some historic figures in the game and your recollection and reaction to them. Walter Hagen.
Walter Hagen was also a very close friend, and I corresponded with him. He was the first man that I talked to after I won the Open, and he called me on the phone and congratulated me, and what a thrill that was. And then I got to know him. I met with him a number of times, and he said, "Now, Arnie," there's a couple things he said that were very pointed. He said, "when I die," he says, "I want you to remember that I asked you to be a pallbearer for me." And, you know, things like that were, and he was sick at the time. And of course, he thrilled me to death with the things that he told me. And as a matter of fact, I was a pallbearer in the Walter Hagen funeral.
Wow. Dow Finsterwald.
One of my best friends ever. Dow and I have been close since we played, amateur golf and then professional golf, and we traveled together all over the world. And he was a very close personal friend that I'm very proud to say we've been friends all our lives.
Sam Snead.
Sam Snead is a guy that you never get real close to Sam, but he and I were buddies because we played on a lot of teams together, and he was a guy that he never forgot anything, and of course I remember that. And he was a good guy. He was a good guy. He didn't waste words too much. He said what he had on his mind and got on with it.
I've talked to you in the past about your relationship with Ben Hogan, and in my reflection on it, I would describe it as complicated. Is that fair?
Well, I suppose that's fair. Hogan and I wouldn't ever call the relationship really close, although we were partners and we talked a lot, but we were never real close buddies. Mm-hmm. Hogan never called me by my name. It was always "hey you" or "fella" or something like that, which I objected to a little bit.
How about Gary Player?
Gary and I are very close. We were close all our lives. We played Big Three golf, and we did a lot of things together, a lot of shows, a lot of golf, and something that I think that will last forever.
Of course, I have to ask you about Jack Nicklaus.
Well, Jack is a good friend. He is a personal friend, and he's a guy that I can appreciate and understand very well and enjoy being with.
There were a couple players that golf lost in recent months that I wanted to ask you about. One that both that you're directly tethered to. The first, Cal Nagel, who passed away, of course, which takes us back to the 1960 Open Championship. And I wonder if you could speak to that man for a second.
Well, Cal was the guy that kept me from winning the Open at St. Andrews, and he played very well, and I knew him pretty well, and he was a really nice man. He's one of the nicest men that I have had an association with in the game of golf. And I enjoyed our relationship, the fact that we spent time together and competed against each other many, many times. And he was a guy that I will always remember.
Mr. Billy Casper, of course, passed away recently.
Well, Bill Casper was a good friend also, even though we didn't spend a lot of time together. We played competitively all of our active life. And Bill was a much better player than anybody gave him credit for being. He played the game very well and was a good guy. He was a good guy and a good friend to me.
When you look at the game today, and you've described it to me in the past that players today are very physical, it was the word that you used with me. If you could, through some stroke of magic, if you could have lived and competed in a different time than that which you did, would you take that option? Would you be competing at a different time?
Would I like to be competing at a different time? I'm not sure. I think I had the opportunity to play in the best time of my life. The golfers were good. The Hogans, the Sneeds, the Sarzens, the Nelson, Middlecoffs, they were great players, and it was a thrill for me to have played against all of them.
What is the next mountain to climb for Arnold Palmer?
Well, I'd like to see golf continue on the road that it's on. I hear people say golf is falling. I don't think it is. I think it's just pausing right now for a little get back to it again. And I think that we will see these young people that are coming along will make a great difference in the game of golf in the years to come.
Are you impressed with the young players today?
I am very impressed by some of them. Yes, they're very good.
If there was one thing in today's game, in the golf game today, you could change, what would that one thing be?
I suppose that I'd leave the game alone. I'd try to speed it up a little bit. I think that would be something that we could use very much in the game now to get these young people to play a little quicker. And for the rest of it, I think it's very good.
Years and years from now, Mr. Palmer, what do you want the legacy of Arnold Palmer to be?
Well, I suppose that just that I have made a contribution to the game to help make it a little better.
You have that, sir. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.